I'm Victoria Damone. I'm the Vice President of the Western Region for sales. So essentially half the country, if you fold the US in half. I'm on the western half on the eastern region of Texas, the border, going up kind of in a diagonal. And I have a colleague on the eastern region that is the VP of sales. And so we work in tandem together. I operate out of the corporate office, which you all know. And we're really happy and thankful to be here because we know that you all have choices. And so we really are humbly, earnestly grateful to be a partner with you all. So Tina York is our Director of Client Management. Tina has a team of allocated individuals that are specifically working with our key partners. You are a key partner for us. We really are, every broker, every member is a client. They're both, dear to us. And the fact that we have dedicated people that are going to be solely laser focused on how they can become an extension of your team is outstanding. It's a new division that we have. They are, as an example, they triage things. So Tina's team, she will dictate who is going to be the right fit personality-wise. Unfortunately, Elliot McClure is sick today. He got ill, but he's around all the time. He's just working from home today, but we didn't want to expose you if he had something.
Thank you.
So Tina is very pleased. But that's a new division when, you guys were at our office.
Yeah.
That hadn't been created. So I was kind of doing what her team is doing. I'm still part of everything that you're, accomplishing and want to accomplish. And so I just think it's really paramount that you know that you have a whole collective body of really responsive people that will engage with a member and a producer. Our preference is that you're the conduit and that the member is really reaching out to them, just because we want to filter it through you and have that assurance that you're the voice for the member. Sure. And that you're the advocate and we're your service people.
Yes.
So, and as you know, culturally our firm really believes in our mission to serve others. That's the core of who we are. And to be a faith-based ministry plan that are so highly scrutinized right now, we are being as transparent, cooperative, and supportive of all bodies, legislative bodies, attorney generals, Department of Insurances, coast to coast, that they have all of the necessary collateral to validate who we are.
Awesome.
We do not speak disparagingly about our competitors. Everybody comes to the table with some gift, and we just think that capitalizing on what our gift is what's going to make us different.
Sure.
So we are a very proactive team. So Michelle Bird is a director of training. Since you were as well back at our office, Michelle's team has actually expanded. And because we are growing exponentially, I'd say we have over 20,000 members.
Wow.
At this point. When you were there, I think we had closer to 8.
Yeah, wow.
And
it was.
So,
that was just a few months ago, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not even in the enrollment season.
Right.
So we're really growing. We're growing organically, and we're growing through some other variances, which you're well aware. But really what it is word of mouth. You trust people who talk well about an organization.
Sure.
You also get things, if something happens, you try to turn the ship around as fast as you can. So Michelle's mission, I think, and I hope I don't speak for you, but when I see Michelle speaking to an agent or hundreds of agents, because she does these presentations for the masses, is that every question matters. Every single component of a word is going to matter, because we are so focused on being compliant and not confusing the consumer. That's why we feel so thankful to have our marketing model be the agents that are preserving and educating the consumer. So Michelle's training, if you had to categorize the importance of what she's doing, it has to be at the top of the list. Because she's equipping all of, you and your field team to have everything that they need, and it doesn't stop there. I mean, she has been outstanding and her team is very responsive. So with that, I'll turn it over to Michelle, but we're blessed to have you. So that's it. Pardon?
Your name again?
My name is Victoria Damone,
May I spell it?
D.
And Michelle's
A.
a local, so if we have a
And
problem, we can
listen
just
more.
drive to your
Oh.
house.
Yes, yes, and I will cook you organic eggs because I have 8 chickens.
Yeah.
You can come for breakfast
And
anytime.
my number, let me give
So
you
Michelle, are you
my
used
cell.
to speaking to
530
big groups of people?
Yeah, I kind of like it.
925.
Really?
I do, I really like it. I love training. I'm the director, so I have a team that does it, but when it's bringing on new agencies and clients,
So if you ever get into something.
yeah, I take on those. But truly, because I am seriously 10 minutes from here, whatever you need. You want to do this quarterly? I'll come over.
I always tell.
I feel like we're pretty blessed that you're coming to
No,
us when it's
Eric.
big as you probably used to.
Yeah.
No, you're totally fine. Sometimes the more intimate groups are better.
I'll give you
Remember
my card too.
where everything's gonna be said, and you
Oh,
can always go
absolutely.
backtrack through it.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Okay.
I want one of these. I want to win this award that's hot banana. Okay, I like this.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna
Okay.
do one thing before we start. I'm just gonna
Yes.
adjust the slide over here. Oh, back to the face.
Oh,
Back to the face.
it's okay. I'll just look straight. So if I'm staring at you a lot, it's because I can't look up or I'll lose eyesight.
Sure. I know why you're staring.
No.
Oh, here we go again. Getting into this.
Hey, you guys are a fun group. I love it. So my name is Michelle Burnt. I'm the director of training at OneShareHealth. I've been in sales for, over 10 years. It'll be 11 in a couple months. But I am new to the industry. So when our COO, Tracy Berwick, when she asked me to join the team and she told me it was a health sharing ministry, I'll be honest, I said, what is that? And when I found out more, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, where has this been all these years? Because we are to the point, people literally cannot afford health care.
Sure.
I need to carry it with me, but just like 3 weeks ago in the Wall Street Journal, there was an article that people literally cannot afford to work part-time anymore because they can't have health care. They can't afford it. So they're being forced to work full-time just to afford health care. So that is exactly why these type of programs exist. There's also, if you do research on health shares in general, that like 5 years ago, there was a total of like 100,000 members nationwide, and now there's over 1 million.
Yeah.
And it's growing so much that we have entities looking at us. Like, we are not insurance,
Sure.
and we'll talk all about that. But because of that and how well we're doing in the industry, not just OneShare, but health sharing ministries in general, of course, the Department of Insurance is starting to look at us, right? And not in a bad way, but what is this group, right? Who's taking money from us? So it's really a great thing, and I'm excited to be here and tell you about this. From my understanding, you guys are newer to health share programs, correct?
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
The team is.
I chose, I have several presentations, but this one is really good about walking you through what is a health share program, how does it work, and then specific to OneShare. All right. Can you see? Sorry. Who is OneShareHealth? So OneShareHealth is a medical cost sharing program providing a unique, affordable, ACA exempt option to healthcare. So let's talk through this. We are not insurance. That's probably the first question you are always going to get asked is, well, are they insurance? They're not. But if we say just that and move on, what do you think a member's going to think? I don't know about all this. What we want you to tell them is we are regulated by the IRS and the State Attorney General. The IRS and the State Attorney General. So please always follow up with that, because if you have a potential sale in front of you and you say, hey, look, I want to be honest with you, they're not insurance, they're a health sharing ministry, and then you just move on, their mind's just running. And you might have already lost the sale.
You said State Attorney General?
Yep, the IRS and the State Attorney Generals. Now, we are ACA exempt, which is a huge selling point because not every health share ministry is. Now, you guys are familiar with ACA exempt, right? But let's talk through it like you're a member so it makes sense to them. I love putting things in layman's terms. They knew in the past, I know those federal mandates went away, but they knew in the past if they didn't have insurance, they'd be financially penalized.
Sure.
Well, the first thing we tell them is OneShare is not insurance, and they're like, wait, why would I do that? Well, one, that federal mandate went away, but there are several states implementing their own mandates, so it's not entirely gone. But for us, even back then, they would not have been penalized because we are ACA exempt. Don't say ACA compliant, ACA exempt.
Right.
So definitely a selling point.
You said there's others that aren't?
Actually, we're one of the few that are ACA exempt.
Really? Okay.
Yep. It's not an easy thing to get either. Affordable healthcare options, including membership discount services. So we have our 3 programs that we offer. That's our meat and potatoes. But then we also have additionally, separate from our programs, membership discount services I'm going to walk you through today as well. They are at no additional cost to the members. Dental, vision, hearing, things like that.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
This is Leslie.
Hi, Leslie!
I'm gonna embarrass her.
Perfect timing. We literally just got started.
They saved you a
Hey, you
photo
gotta start all
seat.
over.
I know.
Did you deliver another baby last night?
No, but I had a pretty severe low blood sugar this morning.
Oh.
And
Did you Paul Blart?
what?
Did you Paul Blart? I'll pass out in the middle of something.
No, I didn't wake up.
Oh.
That's not any good.
Oh my.
Yeah, it takes away the comedy out of that.
Yeah. Tell the joke.
The joke.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
Notice the room got silent. Like, what are we saying?
So, way to welcome 30th year.
Oh my gosh. Nice to meet you. No worries, no worries. All right, so besides the membership discount services, which are no additional cost, and we'll talk about those in detail, our members also have access to one of the largest PPO networks in the nation. Are you guys familiar with PHCS?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So with PHCS, Private Healthcare Systems, depending on which of our programs they enroll in determines the network through PHCS.
Okay.
And we'll list that all out. The network chosen per the program determines how many providers are available in that area. So it's definitely important that we are enrolling members, we look up their providers in the appropriate networks to make sure they're in network.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about that as well. Now, something very exciting that's also new, since you guys were there, is about around August 1st, we are implementing a member concierge service. If you have experience with PHCS, they're amazing, but they have their faults as well. And one of them is a member will look up a physician, it'll say it's in network, they get to the doctor and the doctor's like, no thank you, it's a health share program.
Yeah.
Well, they don't get to do that, that's not how it works. They have a contract through PHCS that they need to follow. And this member concierge service will, in the background, do all the legwork for us. Literally while
That's
the
huge.
member is at the doctor office, they will make sure they get seen.
That's huge.
Yep. But they do much more than that. That's the biggest thing that will really take a lot of burden off us. But they also are going to help them set appointments. They also are going to help them, like, I need a surgery, who do I go to? They'll help them find a doctor in network. So hopefully first couple weeks in August, we're in the final stages now, that will be rolling out.
So it'd be like an 800 number to call in.
If they will be part of us, they will have their own phone number and everything, yes.
Is it accurate that
I could have used that over the
the
years.
piece you were just saying, that was interesting to me, because I've worked with other health share ministries that had PHCS as a provider. Is it accurate that if they take that particular network that's on that plan, or not take it, but if they're in network with the particular network that's on their plan,
Yep.
they can't, or they shouldn't have the option to say, well, since this isn't through a carrier, we're not going to accept it? Is that
Right.
accurate?
It is, and
Okay.
that's why we need this member concierge
Gotcha.
service,
Okay.
That's what we
because
ran into
they
in the
can get in
past.
trouble.
Well, I've ran into that a bunch of times in the past where like, this plan is limited, this is a limited plan, we're not accepting it, you gotta pay cash, and then when we get the bill, like, when you know, we'll bill the insurance if they pay it, but you gotta pay up front, like, it's been a mess as far as,
Yeah.
in some
Understood.
instances, in some instances.
Could you explain that, just the overall kind of summary of the concierge service again? What you said, I kind of missed it.
No, you're fine. So basically what happens is all of these providers, so the 1 million, they have over 1 million nationwide.
Okay.
All of them are contracted through PHCS, which stands for Private Healthcare Systems. It is nationwide. What happens is their contract says you are in network, so you take any member regardless of their carrier, right? So what happens is with the health sharing program, which is newer, a lot of physicians either just flat out don't know what it is or they don't want to accept it. Well, they don't get to determine that.
Oh, wow, okay.
So what happens is, let's say you are enrolling a member, you help them look up their 2 doctors, they are in network, so we make an appointment, they get to the appointment and the doctor says, oh, no, we don't take health well, yeah,
So-
you do, because you're
yeah.
contracted.
Okay.
Then we would immediately call our concierge service, I can't tell you the name yet, but we would immediately call the concierge service that's rolling out, and then they would literally take it from there, right there on the spot when the member's at the doctor.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
That's somebody just to go and do all the dirty work, so.
Yeah.
that
seriously.
The end user will have to.
We don't have to play the bad guy then, it's literally them doing it. But if you found out something just happened and you need surgery and you're like, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I see? They'll help you find a doctor in network. They can even help you set an appointment, all that good stuff.
That's super cool.
All right.
Good.
I love this slide, and I can send you guys this presentation, so don't feel like you have to write everything down. But this is such a great way, in less than 30 seconds, to describe to a member how health sharing works. I'll be honest, our retention is pretty dang high with our members, and it's a training opportunity. Those that do drop off, it's simply because they do not understand how a health sharing program works.
Cool.
They're probably brand new to it, like I was, like some of you are. So we have to do more education in the forefront to be proactive so they know, like, when they get their membership guide, how it works. We are not insurance, but gosh, some of this stuff is similar in how it works, and if we could just explain that to them. So you guys are used to saying a monthly premium. We call it monthly contribution. So how it works is each month, a portion of their monthly contribution goes into a shared account. I like to call it the pool.
Yep.
So let's think about it. The more members we have, the more funds going in the pool. The more funds in the pool, the more medical bills are paid. It's simple. I like to say our members are the sharing power behind our programs. They are the ones making sure everyone has access to the doctor's facilities that they need, because they're the ones putting the money in the funds. So a portion goes in the shared account. Member selects their provider at time of enrollment. Well, they look up their provider, but they're choosing who they want. They get an actual ID card. It looks just like an insurance card. I have one. I'm on the Classic Crown plan with my family. Now, the member presents their ID card, and I actually can show you. On the top right-hand corner of the ID card is the appropriate PHCS network and the phone number that goes specific to that network right underneath it. So that we got to get the members in the habit of saying, I'm not with OneShareHealth, this is with PHCS.
Sure.
And then showing them their card.
Yeah.
If they say OneShareHealth, immediately they're gonna be like, who?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
To your point about having to pay cash up front, we never want that. That should be like 1 in 1,000 that
Yeah.
happens. So on the card are all the appropriate visit fees. Urgent care, PCP, emergency room, specialist, I think those are the main 4. They show them the card, they pay the visit fee if applicable. The provider submits the bill directly to our third-party administrator, and we use Loomis, Loomis. They are fantastic. So what we need the member to understand is we do not determine if medical bills are paid. Loomis does. Loomis determines eligibility. They always negotiate price, no matter how big or small the bill. And then it's sent directly back to the provider within 20 business days.
Awesome.
So if you do hear any rumblings in the industry, what I have heard, and no names in particular, because I think it's across the board, is it's taking up to 120 days to determine and pay these medical bills. And I can only imagine how scary that would be for a member when you're probably dealing with a health issue and you have no clue if your medical bill is going to be paid. So our current turnaround time is 20 business days.
Wow. That's great.
That's
Now, these two happen simultaneously. Instead of an explanation of benefits, we call it an explanation of sharing services. They receive that in the mail, very typical. And then the check sent directly back to the provider. Now, something that's also brand new, as of I think last Friday, I just learned about it myself, we have now implemented what's called a shared box. This will be posted on the website. Super cool. I didn't even know that this is something we could do, but let's say you had a medical bill of $20,000 and it was paid. Now you can go into the shared account and see how it was paid in the exact percentages. And it won't say a member's full name, obviously, for confidentiality purposes, but it'll say like Victoria D paid 20% of your medical bill. Michelle B paid 30% of your medical bill.
cool.
OneShare, blah, blah, blah. And it shows the breakdown, and then it also shows our financials in regards to how many medical bills were paid this month, year to date, and month to date.
That's cool. Will that be like on the, where will that be?
From what I heard, because it just rolled out Friday, it's public knowledge, so
Yeah.
it'll be on the website.
Okay, cool.
And then they will create their own account to see, obviously, their medical bills.
Okay, cool.
But like what we share and how much, it's not confidential. I mean, anybody can look that up.
Right.
And I think that's good, because if you are hearing something's not insurance and you're new to a new concept, wouldn't you want to see that?
Yeah, we can just pull that up if we're face to face
Yep.
with someone and let them know and
Yep.
validate that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge.
And then they can kind of see the status of their medical bill too. They can see it's paid and the percentages, or they can see it's pending. So.
That's cool.
So where do we fit in if we're not determining if it's paid or not? We truly just act as the facilitator, bringing all these processes together, and we're all about member customer service. That's all our thing. We do not have a call center within OneShare. It's all pure customer service. We have retention support, contracting support, member support, producer support, and training support. Another big thing to tell members, besides the fact we're ACA exempt, is we are a public charity 501c3. So I wish we got more, but we take donations. If there is someone out there who is financially very stable and they feel like they love this concept of a health sharing ministry and people coming together to pool funds to help with medical costs for sick ones, they may make a donation that is tax deductible,
Awesome.
and we would absolutely take that donation. So we are a health sharing ministry. Let's talk about that. There are health shares out there who are specific to one religion. We are not. What we say is we accept people of similar faiths. So between us in this room, we don't discriminate. We don't care what faith you are. But we have to be careful in the industry, so we don't say we accept all faiths. We say similar faiths.
Similar faith.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what religion you are. Welcome to
I
OneShare.
understand.
But we have to be very careful in the industry. You know, we have rules and regulations too. But on the actual application is called statement of beliefs. That is our only disqualifying question on the entire application. They're pretty generic. In fact, I can pull them up, remind me. And it just, basically what we're saying is do your best to live a healthy lifestyle. Pray hard, pray first. And that's it. So I don't care how many pre-existing conditions you have. I don't care when you had them. I don't care if it's same-sex marriage. Quite frankly, you don't even have to be a U.S. citizen because we're a membership. You don't have to have a social security number to get a membership. So we literally do not discriminate. It's exciting, right?
Wow.
Yeah, we do.
That's huge.
We run into that a lot.
I know. And speaking of, we have Spanish brochures available and Spanish-speaking reps and member and producer support.
Cool.
We live in Texas. Let's accommodate,
Yeah,
right?
you gotta have it.
So truly, the only reason a member wouldn't be accepted is because they did not agree on the application to our statement of beliefs, which when I show you, you're gonna say, why would someone not agree to this?
Yeah,
They're generic.
Sure.
We do not, there are health share programs, and it's just their rules and regulations, that's okay. But sometimes they require, letters of recommendation from pastors. We don't do that. Some, their statement of beliefs are very strict in the fact maybe you've had an abortion, then you wouldn't be accepted. We don't do that. Now, while we don't condone it, we're not gonna prevent you from enrolling in our program. So that's it. I mean, our statement of beliefs is our foundation, and it's the only reason you wouldn't be accepted. So by sharing their contributions, again, our members help ensure everyone has access to the hospitals, providers, and services they need. That's why I always say they're the sharing power behind our programs. We are constantly seeking the best healthcare options available. So our membership discount services include dental, diabetic care and supplies, hearing, labs, lifeline screenings, vision, and LASIK. It blows my mind that a health share has LASIK, and vitamins and supplements. But they are separate from our programs. They are truly just a discount to help the member save money. If they find a vendor with a better discount, that's fine. But anything that helps.
Now, how do they access those discount services? Are you gonna get into that?
Yes, it's a one-stop shop.
Okay,
So when they enroll, they are automatically enrolled in all of that, and it will be, the discount will be on their card.
okay.
And then all they do, so on your enrollment portal, are any of you contracted with us yet? Or we're in the process of,
I think I am.
No, you're not. I think just me and Riley.
so on
Well, we're
your,
gonna get these out today, probably.
I love it, as long as I do a good job, right?
Yeah, that's what we're waiting on. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you get the top of it.
So if I get the banana, you're contracting, yes. No, I'm kidding. So on your website, your producer enrollment website, you see add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. The most important part is at the very bottom of the first page. There's two things. You can look up the PHCS provider to see if they're in network, but also you can look up the discounts.
Okay, very
For
cool.
instance, prescriptions. If you're a diabetic, it's not cheap. And there's a lot of expensive drugs out there.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, right. So you can look up your medications to see the discounts and the pharmacy nearest to you that offers it.
Within the portal on the application.
Yep. First page, scroll to the bottom under resources.
Awesome.
And we train our producers, you have to do that.
Yeah,
Why would you enroll someone without looking up their providers first?
right.
Sure.
Just that peace of mind, so they feel really good about their decision.
Or if they make the decision, at least they know previously and make the decision based around changing providers or whatever.
Yes, absolutely. So again, this is a one-stop shop. When they enroll, they are automatically put into all of those. They don't have to register separately, none of that. Good?
Can you give me like
You
30?
might have already covered this.
No worries.
Can you
But, pre-existing. can you-
We'll get there.
Okay.
You
Yep.
got a camera on your phone and you're gonna the whole thing down.
She said she's gonna send us.
Shush, Eric. Shush. I want to write it.
She's gonna send us to us.
It helps me to remember when I write.
Oh,
Good
I called him yesterday.
Good point. I kind of like that too.
Okay, because I was wondering when it said like diabetic care and
You got his number?
Yep.
hearing and LASIK, that's all like,
Yep, we're gonna go into detail
if
about,
that comes up once you're a member or pre-existing.
yep.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about pre-acts, maternity, cancer, you name it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, one more slide, and then we are gonna jump straight into our programs. All right, just want you guys to know, we are a 501c3, right? We'll accept donations, but I think it's really important that people understand we actually give more than we get. So a huge part of our foundation and the main focus of Alex Cardona, our CEO, is giving back to other charities. The first one we ever gave to, just because we had an internal connection, was the Montego Bay Autism Center in Jamaica. In fact, this is the original building. Behind this building, we gave $30,000 to make the new building.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you know anything about Jamaica, they're under martial law for like the third time in the last year. These kids are in danger. This is like their safe haven. So that was really exciting. Now we are partnering with the Tim Tebow Foundation. In fact, we just gave them a huge check. We're waiting for that photo op. Make-A-Wish Foundation. I know, right? Make-A-Wish Foundation, and then we just got this one, end of August, we're doing the Emmett Smith. He has a huge backpack foundation, and we're doing a whole thing with him. So you will always see this stuff happening, and we always invite our producers to. There we go. Okay. These are what you want to know. If a member says to you, why should I pick this over everything else you offer? It's affordable healthcare sharing options for their family. In fact, monthly contributions as low as $140 for one, $225 for two, and family $350. And I don't care how many family members you have. The only time pricing changes is when you hit the 6th family member, you just add an additional $45 for just them, not per member. Pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
So I am a cancer survivor, and I was paying through, not to mention names, but Blue Cross Blue Shield, who I thought was the cheapest, almost $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
I now pay $650, I think,
Yeah.
for all 4 of our family members.
It's awesome.
Yeah. We have, that line is hotter than heaven. No, it's okay, I'm gonna stand right here.
You sure?
Woo!
You can just move it, Marcus.
It's like
is
being
trying
on
to do a good
stage
job.
performing. It's okay, let me stand right here.
No, it's
Just
okay.
move it.
Marco's just trying to, he's all about the,
The lighting.
So we put,
Sorry.
Put it on the guy that's.
no, you can just put it straight. Okay, thank you.
Switch the move.
I'm like, I'm gonna pass out up here. It is next day effective day, which is awesome. So let's say you have a company that's doing layoffs and they're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I need healthcare. Great, come to us. If they enroll today, they can be effective tomorrow.
Next day.
So did you say the 6th family member is an extra $45 or after the 6th
The
family?
6th and above.
And above, yeah.
Yep. And we don't have a cutoff. It doesn't matter how many family members.
So you're still in the clear, you still got your, have a few more after
I'm
that.
one shot.
You already gotta add that 45.
How many kids do
no,
you
you're
have?
at 6,
No, I'm at
bro.
6.
You're at 6, huh?
You gotta add that 45 for,
Like for real, you have that many kids?
4.
It's 4 kids.
Oh,
You got 6.
mercy. I can't even handle the 2 I have.
Alan too.
Right?
Alan has 4 too.
You should come to a party.
Mine's
at our
12
house.
and I'm about ready to give her up for adoption. Woo! Okay, so next day effective day, literally you could enroll right now and 24 hours later, go get a mammogram or go to the PCP.
Yeah.
The only thing you do have to keep in mind from a producer's, the post date can only be the 1st through the 28th of each month. All right, we talked about the PPO network, which has over 1 million providers and the concierge member services. These, there's so many, but these are probably the top ones that really stick out to me. But one, this is per marketing. The one I think that's not on here that really should be is the fact that only disqualifying question is our statement of beliefs. I think that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just check that you agree with that, right?
Literally, you check.
So why would
box.
anybody, yeah, okay.
Well, we haven't had anyone.
Okay.
So, I mean, I get really weird questions, but like, if you want to get technical, could an atheist enroll? Yeah, if they check the boxes.
Yeah.
Because we don't investigate your religion.
Sure.
I mean, it really, when it comes to our application, it's an honor system. And we ask that you're honest, and if you agree to it, you get to enroll.
I've seen someone I've seen someone read it and get mad and say no.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It was like one time, like ever. It was a few years ago. I was like, all right, dude, what? Like, if you're that serious about it, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to save half the cost of healthcare, why? Okay, so our enrollment portal is awesome. It's super easy. It's only 3 pages, only 2 of which the member has to do something. So step 1, you open your producer enrollment link. That first page is where you pick the appropriate program and add it to the cart. And at the bottom is the resource section where you look up providers and prescriptions. That's page 1. Page 2, they complete their family demographics and click checkout. Page 3, they enter their personal information and answer medical questions.
Seems so simple.
Very simple. Now, we do ask that the producers be the ones to enroll them, whether face-to-face or over the phone, just to alleviate errors and going back and forth and fixing the application. But you absolutely could use your enrollment link and send it out in the masses to multiple potential members at a time, and they can enroll on their own. It's pretty darn self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yep, so just 3 pages, and that's it. Now, at the very end, there is an electronic signature. Just a couple of things about that. When you submit the electronic signature, you can choose email or text. Obviously, choose text first because chances are they can do it right then and there.
Yeah.
But here's what you're gonna love. If they're like, I gotta go, I gotta pick up the kids, or I gotta go to a work meeting, and you're like, I can't, what am I gonna do with the application? They didn't don't worry about it, still submit the application. We will track the electronic signatures behind the scenes. So still submit the order, the application will still go through, it's not life or death.
Without the signature?
Mhm.
Oh, really?
And then
'Cause we will
can
track
track
that.
it down on the back end.
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
that's great.
So still submit it, I mean, still send it to them via email or text.
Yeah.
And then once you confirm they get it, then you click the green submit order button. Yep.
Wow, that's cool.
I didn't know that.
All right, you ready? Here we go. We offer 3 programs, and under each of the programs is 3 tiers. So essentially, you have 9 options to offer your clients here in 2019. I love to start with the Classic, which is our most popular program. If you want to get really technical, the Classic Crown is the most popular.
Yeah.
That's what my family's on, so I can give you tons of examples. The 3 tiers are at the top, Basic, Enhanced, and Crown, and these are all the sharing services. Now, actually, before, I'm gonna look at something real quick. I think it's important you guys see, where's the terminology? Maybe that's in a different one. Huh, it is, okay.
I saw that email a couple weeks back with the terminology.
Yeah, we have a glossary of terms, but I'll just walk you through a couple so it makes sense. There's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is you have to use different terms.
Yeah.
We are not insurance. You absolutely cannot use insurance terms when promoting or selling these programs to members. 1, to protect all of our butts, but 2, we don't want to confuse the member. Think about it. If I'm enrolling you using all insurance terms, you get enrolled and then you get this membership guide with all health share terms, you're like, what the heck? It's so confusing. But the good news is the definitions are exactly the same. You just have to learn the new term. For instance, instead of copay, we say visit fee. Instead of premium, we say monthly contribution. Instead of insurance, health sharing program. Instead of benefits, we say sharing services. Same definitions. Instead of deductible, we say ISA, which stands for individual sharing amount. We always shorten it. Make sense? Okay. So at time of enrollment, the member has 3 choices for their ISA: 5,000, 7,500, and 10,000. On this particular program, whichever one of those they choose, that is their max out of pocket per member.
Per member, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So I'm a family of 4, ours is 5,000. Each of us has 5,000, but that's the most I will pay.
Right.
Now, preventive services are available from day 1, 100%. That's why I said if I enroll today, I can go get a mammogram tomorrow. And that includes annual physicals, well women exams, all of that good stuff, and anything done while at that visit. PCP, pediatric, OBGYN, depending on the tier, 1, 3, or 5 visits per program year, just a $20 visit fee.
Wow, that's
And
great.
real quick, back to the preventative services. I'm sure there's a list in the packet, I just haven't read it, but is it very similar to like the
UTSP, United States Preventative Task Force?
yeah, or like the mandate, or you
Yep.
know, similar to what they cover in a MEC, like what they cover in a MEC?
Almost
plan?
identical, but
Okay.
we do offer a little less.
Okay,
Yes,
Cool.
like colonoscopies, mammograms, all of that is part of
is
it.
part of that?
Yep.
Okay, it's just not like all 63 or 4 of them? that's
Yeah,
like in a-
I think they have 72 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's funny because we have, I think, 63.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Now, let's talk about this one. I just always point to the Classic Crown. So I'm a family of 4, so I get a total of what? 20.
20 visits.
As long as not one member exceeds their 5.
It can't be like one member gets 10, another member.
No.
Okay.
Yep, 5 per member, but that's a total of 20 for the family.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're big on training on is making sure that we put the member in the appropriate program to begin with.
Sure.
It's so easy, guys. You just gotta ask the right questions, right? Just with anything. So when you're enrolling a member, the first thing you're gonna ask them is obviously, you know, tell me about your current situation. How often do you go to the doctor? Do you feel for anyone in your family, 5 would not be enough? If they even flinch, do not put them in this. Because once they hit their 5, they're paying out of pocket for the remaining.
Yeah.
Where if you put them on the complete, which I'll show you next,
Yeah.
it's unlimited.
Right.
So there's certain questions you've got to be asking, but honestly, typically that's plenty,
Yeah.
unless you're dealing with a lot of health conditions. Urgent care, 1 or 2 visits per program year, per member, $20 visit fee. So really, 5 and 2, each member is getting 7 visits.
Right.
Plus, then you got your specialist, which is unlimited. All right, diagnostic x-ray labs. On the basic, it's preventive only. Mammogram is a great example. On enhanced and crown, it's available through PCP and urgent care. Let's go through examples. If I'm at the PCP and they say, you know what, we better do an x-ray, I think your arm might be broken. If they can do it during that visit, I only pay 20 bucks.
That's cool.
If they have to refer me out, then it's subject to the ISA.
Yeah.
Urgent care, let's say they have to do blood work and labs. We do it during the visit, 20 bucks. If they have to refer us out, subject to the ISA.
Cool.
Okay, specialist. Specialist is one of our biggest selling points for 2 reasons, and you might want to write this part down because it's not up here. Specialist on all 3 of our programs is unlimited visits. Doesn't matter how many times you go. Mm-hmm.
So my wife, she suffers from chronic migraines, and she literally has to go to a neurologist every month.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be,
Yes, now,
After the
if
2-year
she's,
waiting period.
actually no,
Oh, no.
listen.
Okay.
So there's a 2-year waiting period for pre-X, and that would be a pre-X. But chronic maintenance is available for specialists, and we're gonna talk about chronic maintenance, during that 24-month waiting period to keep their condition stable.
Wow.
Chronic maintenance is just for your checkups, lab work, things like that. So if she's going once a month for a checkup, she could utilize chronic maintenance.
Very cool.
and she goes there because if she has a flare and it's bad, we obviously go to the hospital, but, which there's been numerous times I haven't slept overnight coming to work, but once a month she goes over there because they want to see her and evaluate her before they'll give her,
Yep, that's
preventative
chronic maintenance.
medication. Okay.
Yep. Chronic maintenance is huge. We'll talk about that. It's one of our biggest selling points.
Yeah, that is huge. I've never heard of that.
Imagine having chronic migraines. Oh my.
She's had them since she was 16.
Wow. The second selling point is it's the only sharing service where the visit fee actually applies towards the ISA.
Awesome.
Therefore, when the ISA has been met, what do you pay for the remainder of the year?
0.
And we don't do calendar year. This isn't your typical, you better use up your deductible, it's starting over. No,
That's what I was gonna ask.
it's program year.
Okay, good.
So if today's my effective date, 1 year from today.
Okay.
That's
good.
cool. That's big.
So what?
Yep. You know, with typical insurance, you gotta do your deductible before the end of the year, it starts
Right.
over. That, we're not that.
No?
We are program year, not calendar year. So it don't matter when you enroll, which we are available 365, 12 months
So if you
from
roll
your
today, then tomorrow would be your
Okay.
effective.
You would have to
date,
use it
and
by
you'd be your-
December.
Then
Yes.
you wouldn't have to.
That's the way, that's.
You wouldn't have to,
sense,
yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So, here's another question you want to ask them. Do you currently see a specialist? If she says yes, literally, no. I'm not putting them in these 2,
Right.
right? You gotta flat out ask. It is available on the Classic Crown. Now, on this program, only a referral is required, but don't freak out because it's a referral per instance, per condition.
Yeah.
So like she doesn't need a referral every time, just one about the case.
Right.
Chances are, you're gonna get that during one of your 5 PCP anyway. It's why you're there probably.
Yeah.
It's a $75 visit fee. It applies towards the ISA. Once the ISA's been met, $0 unlimited. Okay? Telemedicine. You are gonna see this all over everything we have. Why? It's the first line of defense for our members.
Yeah.
So write this down. Tell your members, telemedicine first.
Telemedicine?
Yep, right here.
Okay, I see.
Yep, or we use dial care, but it's telemedicine. Why? Because it's free. It is available 24/7, 365
And why is that
days
where
a
you
year.
order your prescriptions? Or
No, that is through our discount. This is where you get to speak to an actual doctor instead of going to the PCP.
And they can diagnose you right over the phone, right? And
Uh-huh.
write you prescriptions and all that, yeah.
What people don't understand, I have like just totally bought into this telemedicine thing. I think it's amazing.
Mhm.
And I use it for my kids. You don't speak to a nurse. You don't speak to a receptionist. It is an actual
So
doctor.
that costs absolutely nothing.
No.
Right.
Well, it comes free.
You have
when
kids.
You have to be a part of the
In the
program.
middle of the night, at 3 a.m., you can call into dial care and speak to a doctor. He can say, here's what's going on, yada, yada. He writes a prescription, then you use your discount, you go pick it up.
On my insurance, we had something, it was pretty much the same thing, but it was like $75.
Every time you use it,
Yeah.
right?
Nope,
Every
ours
single
is
time.
free.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy because you're at home and you don't have to go anywhere and it saves travel time, but it was
I think the
expensive.
Blue Cross one's $40 a.
Mine was Blue
Yeah.
Cross and it was
Yeah.
70.
Yeah.
So number one, the first line of defense, telemedicine. Number two would be PCP.
Right.
Number three, urgent care. And then number four, emergency room. Train them to use this because it saves everyone involved financially.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna tell you guys is what people don't understand is everything you go to your PCP, telemedicine can do. Cold, flu, migraines, her situation might be a little bit different, but ENT, ear, nose, throat, urinary tract infection, rashes, allergies, all of that telemedicine can do.
Do they refill, can you call in for a refill, or is that something that you have to go in for?
Probably have to do another.
Probably depends on what kind of medicine it is.
Yeah, I think it depends what it's for. Like if you have another UTI and you need to call in to get another medication, that's
Something
fine.
else is probably wrong.
And allergies, they do ton with that, but if it's like ADHD, you might have to
Things
go
like that.
see.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good question though. Okay, now, prescription discount program is through EnvisionRx. What I love about them is not only do they discount regular prescriptions, but generic drugs as well. So it's almost like a discount upon discount. They are not required to use that. I'll be honest, one time I had to get the kiddos a medication and GoodRx was cheaper. It's okay, it's just a discount. If they want to use it, great. If they find something better, that's okay.
It's good.
Emergency room, this is our second biggest feature. This is my favorite. What you see is all they pay. So $500 or $300 visit fee, if they go home same day, they are only responsible for the visit fee because all other services rendered are eligible for sharing,
Really?
up to the maximum limit per incident. Now let's go through a scenario. Scenario one, I am rushed to the ER. I fell and fractured, my bone is sticking out. If I go home same day, I'm only paying $300.
You're not getting a bill later on.
Wow.
Sweet.
Now, let's say scenario two, he's like, you're not going home, your bone's sticking out. Then I'm hospitalized, which our definition of hospitalization is anything over 24 hours.
Oh, wow. That's
No
pretty
observation
cool.
period, nothing like that, 24 hours or above. At that point, this doesn't go to waste. At that point, the $300 goes towards my $5,000 ISA, so I have $4,700 left. Once that's met, everything else is eligible for sharing up to $500,000.
Yeah.
If I'm hospitalized for 4 days, it doesn't matter what tests or blood work or yada yada was done, it's eligible for sharing up to this amount,
Yeah,
if you're hospitalized.
if you're hospitalized.
Yep.
But you have to meet the ISA.
Yes, so let's talk about that. Sometimes members and producers say, how do I know when I have to meet the ISA and when I don't? Simple. Any type of surgical procedure or hospitalization, you meet your ISA first.
Yeah, that's fine.
Everything else, you do a visit fee. That's it. So here,
So if your bills were $3,000 for a 2-night stay, they'll just bill us, they'll bill the member that amount, we pay that, and that goes towards the ISA.
no, so if you are hospitalized for 2 nights
Yeah.
and the bill's $3,000, it's gonna go towards your ISA.
Right, once you pay the, yes. Okay.
Once you pay the $300,
Correct,
yes.
okay.
Because you wouldn't have to pay anything but the $300 because you haven't even met your ISA first.
Gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
But the $3,000 bill goes where?
To our TPA. The
Okay.
bills are never sent to the members.
It's
Gotcha.
paid by it's covered,
It's
if that's the
covered.
case.
Yeah, so then what happens is Loomis, our third-party administrator, they will send an EOS, an explanation of sharing services, and say, hey, $3,000 went towards your ISA of 5.
And you only paid $300.
Yes. Does that make sense?
No.
No, that doesn't make
I'm
sense.
confused too.
Okay, so,
Isn't it with average?
You go to the
Because that's not, that
Right.
3,000 is being paid by OneShare, not by the,
The member needs to pay $3,000, right?
For the ISA.
Because they haven't met their ISA.
yes, but the bill doesn't go to them.
Right. But who does the member pay $3,000 to if their bill's $3,000 and they haven't met the ISA?
Victoria, who do they write how does that work? So, that's a really good question. When you pay your ISA, do you send it to Loomis? We don't take it, we don't take any money.
When you pay your ISA, are you talking about?
Oh, never mind, I already know the answer,
Or-
good gracious. It comes off the total bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It just comes off the total bill.
But they bill, we receive a bill, we submit that bill to the hospital, just like insurance, and then whatever we pay, that goes towards the ISA.
right.
Correct.
But you guys wouldn't receive the bill.
Yeah, we did, right?
Sometimes they do position it that way. Most often it's submitted as, through our proper channels, which would be Loomis.
Okay.
And then, if you're talking specifically like the process,
Yeah.
it would be like that. There are some one-offs that may have different nuances on getting that done,
Sure.
but on average, you're right, Michelle, that would be.
Yeah, I really don't think you're gonna see any medical bills. The providers send them directly to Loomis.
But then Loomis would then bill us for
Balance billing.
balance bill the member. Gotcha, cool.
Okay, we good?
Yes.
Sorry, I probably confused you. All right, so if I go home same day, I only pay the visit fee. If I'm hospitalized over 24 hours, that visit fee goes towards the ISA. Once my ISA has been paid, then it's eligible for sharing up to the amount listed.
Cool.
But the members should not be receiving a bunch of bills. I mean, that is sent directly to Loomis.
Cool.
Okay, next, maternity, another hot topic. So, are you expecting or are you planning in the next year?
Me either.
First question we're gonna ask them, because would we put them on the basic and enhanced?
No.
No. It is available on the Crown, but there's a 9-month waiting period. So would we enroll someone pregnant?
No.
No, because they have to wait 9 months. But if you're maybe trying as a family, it's fine.
Yeah.
Here is a great example of when the ISA must be met first. Why? Because any type of hospitalization or surgical procedure, you have to meet the ISA first. So once the ISA has been met, you get 5,000 towards natural, 8,000 towards C-section, 50,000 towards complications.
Awesome.
Couple things. C-section. Chances are if you had one the first time, you will the second and third. But if you are having a C-section, because the mother's life is in danger and we need to get the baby out, that's not a C-section, that's complications. They would get up to 50.
Right.
Really?
Yes. Once the baby is born, this is the biggest part, they are their own dependent. They need to be added to the program within 31 days.
Right.
Here is something that separates us from other health shares. Let's say the baby's in the NICU or ICU. And I can only imagine as a mother, the last thing I'm worried about is adding my baby to a program, right? You don't do it till day 29. Well, what the heck happens to all those ICU bills? OneShare will allow them to retro back and submit those. Now they're a dependent, so they have to meet their ISA and they have a per incident maximum too, but at least we don't leave them hanging with all those hospital bills.
Yeah.
So a $37,000 NICU bill would be.
If their ISA is met and they don't exceed that.
so they would pay the first 5, if it was 5,000, they would they would pay the first 5,000 and that other 32.
And now let me ask you this, because I had this plan, or a very similar plan. You guys know what I'm talking about. They paid, and we had a child on the plan. They paid, and I was very confused, still am working that out. But does that $5,000 go? The way I was explained to it by this other carrier, unnamed, was that the hospitalization, the room and board, everything is covered as a shared amount. However, the $5,000 only goes towards like things that had to do with the actual birth. Now, does that $5,000 go towards the entire stay, the birth and all, or does it go just towards, like, you know, the medicine they use to induce the natural birth, like those bills? You know, you build room and board, and then you're billed for the birth.
Yep.
Does your
As
share
long as
amount
it's-
cover your room and board, and then that $5,000 goes straight towards the actual birth?
The 5,000 will go towards the overall bill. As long as it's a global bill, which I think most doctors do now anyway, it's one bill for everything, right? Ours goes towards 3. The labor and delivery, the mother's hospital stays, and the prenatal stuff, those 3. So one global bill for your prenatal, oh, that was
We got that on film.
Great, wonderful, that'll make the news
That's how
today.
she really feels.
One global bill for your prenatal, your labor and delivery, and the mother's hospital stay. So let's say the total bill was $20,000,
Right.
okay? You're gonna take your $5,000 ISA off, now you're down to 15. You're gonna take the natural delivery 5,000 off, now you're down to 10. And then at that point, what would happen?
They would pay the rest.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
The member would pay the 10,000?
yes.
Gotcha.
Yep, yep, so you just take it off the total bill, whatever they get, it could be 5, 8, or 50. The natural is the hardest part, because they don't get
Yeah,
as
how
much.
do you define the natural is what I'm,
C-section.
not a
Just like an
C-section,
average.
basically.
Yeah, just average vaginal birth,
Vaginal
yep.
birth.
Even if you have an epidural, that's natural.
Okay, just checking.
Yep,
I got a question for you.
yeah,
This is gonna involve maternity, maximum limit per incident, and the lifetime sharing amount. Mutual friend of Riley and I's, actually, Saturday will be 1 year the baby has his first birthday. Was born 3 months premature. He was in the NICU with a lot of complications for 6 months. If they were on this plan, they had a $1.7 million medical bill by the time everything was said and done.
yep.
How would that factor in if they had this plan?
So the scary part to me as a mother is if the baby happens to be premature and they're not 9 months out yet, it's not eligible.
Yeah.
That's like playing with fire, because how do you know if a baby's gonna be premature, right? I mean, unless maybe you've had issues in the past with pregnancies. I mean, I probably wouldn't put them on this then. I would put them on the complete where there's no waiting period for maternity. But if it truly is, you know, you're just your first time trying as a family, it's definitely an option. So number 1, if the baby's premature, it's not eligible if we're not outside of the 9 months. Number 2, let's say they were outside of the 9 months, baby comes premature, as long as they pay their ISA, and then they would get up to the $500,000. Now, complications is anything life-threatening or life-altering. This is where it gets tricky, because sometimes babies just come premature, they just come early, but it's not necessarily because someone's life was in danger, it's a complication. Sounds like in this instance, something was severely wrong. So if that's the case, that is up to complications. So it really depends how the doctor codes it. I mean, sometimes babies just come early,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's because something's definitely wrong.
Well, I'll say for their instance, thank God for cooks and picking for preemies, because outside of the insurance didn't pay that, they paid for everything, and all they had to do was their $5,000 out of pocket.
Oh,
It's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
that's very awesome. Wow, scary, scary. Okay, so any questions on maternity thus far? Let's keep going. In outpatient surgery, once the ISA has been met, it is eligible. There are 2 types of surgery. You got your life-threatening, which obviously is available immediately. We're not gonna make you wait. But non-life-threatening, just a typical surgery, maybe like torn ACL, hip replacement, shoulder surgery, not life or death. There's just a 6 or 2 month waiting period. Okay, maximum limit per incident, 150, 250, or 500,000. The lifetime sharing maximum is $1 million across the board per member.
Good.
So I'm a family of 4. If I hit $1 million, I'm off the program, but my husband and 2 kids can continue on as normal.
Right.
And by the way, they can't like take a break and come back on another program. It's all across the board $1 million. People try. End of life sharing. We call this a financial gift. I hear producers say it's just like life insurance. No, it's not. It's actually better to me. It costs them absolutely nothing, and they're not taxed on it. It is truly a financial gift. It costs them nothing. So at time of death, primary member, who we call the oldest, $6,000, spouse, $4,000, dependent, $2,000. There is a 12-month waiting period from effective date, and a death certificate is required. No questions asked.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was on the plan.
Yeah. So this is our most popular price. But who has time to read when he's actually enrolling?
That's right.
It's like-
He's also the one that went over the plan with me when I was talking to customers, right there.
I love it, I love it. Everything you do need is in your membership guides. So price-wise, the Classic, our most popular, is right middle tiered, right in the middle. Now this is on the higher end of pricing, still half the cost of traditional insurance. This is the complete program, it's our most comprehensive. Now that I've gone over the details, we can go a little bit quicker through this. Same tiers, same sharing services. The biggest thing about the complete, because it's the most comprehensive, is that now you start seeing max out of pocket, all that good stuff. Very similar to what you think of as co-insurance. At time of enrollment, they do have 4 choices, as low as a $1,000 ISA, $2,500, $5,000, and $10,000. For one person, you don't have to worry about out of pocket, right? It's just individual ISA, individual max out of pocket, that's it. 2 people, they would pay double the amount. 3 or more, 3 times the amount. And it doesn't matter how many after that. So if I'm a family of 6, I'm never paying more than 3 times the amount.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. Once you reach your family ISA, you're gonna follow the columns straight down, they go together. Once you reach your family ISA, you're gonna pay a portion until you reach your family max out of pocket, and then you're done. Once you reach your max out of pocket, the only thing remaining is your visit fees, which are pretty minimal. Okay, here we go. Preventive services, 100% from day 1. PCP, pediatric OBGYN, just a $50, $35, or $20 visit fee. Urgent care, $100 or $75 visit fee. Please write down, I think this is very fruitful to know. Producers tell me all the time, we only offer the Classic and the Catastrophic because it's cheapest. I get it, I do, but I'm also a firm believer you get what you pay for, and we have to choose what's best for the member. This is our most comprehensive, and there are 4 huge selling points that make it totally worth what you're paying. Number 1, everything is unlimited.
Yeah.
Every single thing. The rest I'll point out to you as we go through. So what we just went through, unlimited, 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 unlimited. Okay, so diagnostic, x-ray, and labs after the ISA has been met, 60, 70, or 80% is eligible for sharing, which leaves very little for them to have to worry about. Specialist, again, is unique for 2 reasons. It's not only unlimited, but the visit fee goes towards the ISA. When the ISA has been met, $0.
Does
Notice,
the visit fee on the PCP and urgent care go toward the out-of-pocket max as well?
it does not. This
Okay.
is the only one where it does.
Gotcha, okay.
Yep,
And there's no referral required on the complete?
none.
Okay, cool.
Or on the catastrophic, just the Classic.
Right.
Which you didn't hear from me, but we have some new programs coming out this fall and that's going away. But for now, referral on the Classic route.
Sure.
Telemedicine, same, 0 cost. And by the way, you can download the Dial Care app on your phone and they can text, call, or video chat with the doctor, like if your child has a rash or a bug bite.
Awesome.
Super awesome. Prescription, selling point number 2. On the complete program only, when a member spends $1,200 in prescription expenses within the program year, going forward, 50% is eligible up to $3,000, and every year it starts over. So diabetics, if I'm diabetic and I reach 1,200, which you probably will, then going forward, 50% is eligible up to $3,000.
So you're only paying 50% of the cost?
So do the math, you spent $6,000 and only did 3.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now, just an FYI, on the Classic and the Catastrophic, you don't have to use EnvisionRx, but if you are doing the eligible sharing, you do have to use EnvisionRx, obviously. Okay, emergency room, $500, $300, or as low as $150 as long as you go home same day. Selling point number 3, maternity. There is no waiting period. Same thing, 5,000 natural, 8,000 C-section, 50,000 complications. So let's talk pre-X, because it kind of goes with maternity in this instance.
Yeah.
If there's no waiting period, could someone enroll pregnant?
Yes.
Yes, but then it's considered a what?
Pre-existing condition.
Yes. So in that case, the 5, 8, and 50 goes out the door, because now it's a pre-X.
Right.
So you will see in your membership guide, it's called double the ISA.
Even if they didn't know they were pregnant?
If they didn't know they were pregnant, but they enrolled and found out they were, we would still know they were pregnant when they enrolled.
Oh,
Because
okay.
9
Yeah.
months. Yeah, because the baby,
Yeah.
like the baby
Yeah,
was born.
you just may find out later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, you can double your ISA and get up to 10,000 on the enhanced and $20,000 on the crown. So let me show you something.
Oh my gosh, I know what you're saying. You can pay an extra 5,000
Yes.
and it will cover it.
Yep. So, pre-existing conditions in general, not just maternity, this is any type of pre-X. We have a 24-month look back and a 24-month waiting period. So when a member hears that, they either probably won't enroll because they're like, why would I have to wait 24 months? Or they just may be extremely hesitant. There are two, we want them to know there are options. In fact, there's 2 different options while during that waiting period. Number 1, chronic maintenance. We want them to keep their condition stable so they don't end up in the ER, hospitalized, or even need surgery because that's not eligible during that waiting period. Instead, go to the PCP, urgent care, labs, and specialist, pay just that visit fee on the classic and complete programs only. Utilize the chronic maintenance and keep your condition stable. It's one of our biggest selling points.
What are the, how does that work as far as,
The visit fees?
yeah, or the billing, whenever, how do you know chronic, how do you know if it's chronic maintenance or not?
It's billed the same way, is what
Billed.
she's saying.
Yeah, and it's the same
What's
visit
the
fees.
difference?
Oh, it's
So-
the way they're coded, you said,
Mhm.
gotcha.
Well, what Loomis would do is when they get a PCP visit, and I mean, chances, if you're just going for your checkups and your lab work, like for diabetic or whatnot, doesn't matter. Because those 4, you just pay the visit fee, whether you have a pre-X or not.
Right.
It is for all chronic conditions, but I would tell you the 4 that probably utilize it the most are diabetic, thyroid, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, option 2, totally separate. On the complete program only, which is what we're on right now, on the enhanced and crown tiers, not the basic, if they double their ISA, like the lowest is 1,000. So you're telling me if I double it to 2,000, I get up to 10,000 on the enhanced and $20,000 on the crown. So let's go through
For
some
that
examples.
condition?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, no, how you use it is up to you. If you have multiple pre-X, you can use it for whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that 10 or 20,000 that's the max that it's gonna cover for that pre-X.
Correct,
Gotcha.
correct.
Cool.
Yeah, but like for instance, we just had a member who had, I can't remember what it was for, but 3 minor surgeries of like $3,000 a piece. He doubled the ISA, there you go.
You got it paid for, yeah.
Mhm.
That's cool.
So example 1, I enroll pregnant on the complete program. If I double my ISA, at least I can get up to those amounts.
Yeah.
Another example, I have a pre-X, I enroll, I know I have a waiting period, and all of a sudden I find out I need surgery, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't afford this. Immediately I can double my ISA and get up to at least that for the surgery.
So if someone's on the crown complete, they can pay, if they had $1,000 deductible, they can pay $2,000, the whole birth would be covered 100%. That's awesome.
Depending on how much it is.
Yeah, but
I
it's-
can't remember how expensive it
It's
is.
not that much, it's like 12 grand, 13 grand.
You would know.
That's pretty cool. I wish I'd have known that.
Yeah, so we stay on the complete program.
Right.
Which means in time of crisis, you would get up to $1 million. No matter how big the hospital bill was. So the 4 again, were unlimited everything, 50% eligible on prescriptions, no wait on maternity, and no maximum limit per incident. End of life sharing, the financial gift, works exactly the same, but now they get higher amounts. Now primary gets 10, spouse 6, dependent 2. So it is our highest price program, but it's still half the cost of traditional, and you get what you pay for.
Yeah, it's a great plan.
Yeah, so if you are enrolling a family who is dealing with some health issues, I really do recommend this because
For sure.
there's no I got yous. There's no loopholes in this. It's
Right.
got whatever they need.
And how much is that one monthly?
It's all different.
Yeah.
Well, approximately though.
It just depends on your age. depends
Yeah,
on-
so our pricing is, a good question. Our pricing is age banded, 18 to 64.
And it goes up with age.
Yes, and we go by the primary member who's ever the oldest.
Yeah.
So does it go up every 5 years, like as you age? or
Every
what?
10.
Every 10?
It's put here. It's 18 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 64.
Okay.
And it's set for the program year. Everybody's got a birthday mid-year, so if I all of a sudden move up an age band mid-year, we're not gonna raise your pricing until your automatic
Renewal.
annual
Right.
program renewal, I should say.
And is it a large price increase or like,
No,
No.
very, very minimal.
I think we talked about this.
Okay, last program, catastrophic. This one, okay, so the classic is your standard program. The complete is your comprehensive program, and this one is your, what we like to call emergency for illness and injury.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you notice? There's no maternity, no preventative, PCP, or urgent care.
No doctors. Yeah.
Yep, so it is something they have to be aware of, right? Who this is good for is your younger audience.
Oh yeah.
Someone who can't afford it, right? Like they're straight out of college, this would be ideal. So at time of enrollment, $5,000 or $10,000 ISA, just like the classic, whichever one they choose, that's their max out of pocket. Diagnostic, x-ray, and labs, it is subject to the ISA. Once your ISA is met, it's 100% going forward, but it's for pre-admission and post-admission only. Specialist, same thing, unlimited, visit fee, the only one that applies towards the ISA, but this is for hospitalization or outpatient surgery only. Remember, everything here is illness and injury.
Mhm.
So if I have a heart attack and I need rehabilitation, perfect.
Yeah.
If I have a stroke and need therapy, perfect. If my son has a mole and I'm like, something doesn't feel right, I need to go to the dermatologist. No, because you're not hospitalized or outpatient surgery. Okay? It still has telemedicine and prescription discount, emergency room $300 visit fee, in outpatient surgery hospitalization, once the ISA has been met, 100% up to the maximum limit per incident. Now, you remember the first two programs had 3 tiers? This does too, they just look different. So at time of enrollment, the member will choose their maximum limit per incident of 150, 250, or 500. Bless you. Whichever one they choose, the lifetime sharing maximum is automatically double the amount.
And guys, this is big, especially since we're working around this area. Dr. Brown, he's like, I don't know if y'all know about him, but he's like,
OBGYN, right?
nah, he's up here in Midlothian. He's like a family practitioner. He doesn't accept any insurance, and they just pay a monthly fee to him. And they go there, and they, it's like, it's just a monthly fee, like, and they can have their family there, but.
It's like a membership.
Yeah, a membership program, and he's huge. He has like, I think he has like 500 patients around Midlothian, this area, and a lot of people use him. I've been running into people that have him all the time. This program is like perfect for someone that doesn't have insurance, but they have him because this is just catastrophic. Yeah, they have all their doctor's visits.
So they can use him for their PC.
Yeah, and they can.
Because this is the what if. We pray nothing happens, but what if you are in a car accident? What if you do need surgery? What if you are hospitalized?
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many doctors are going towards
No,
it.
there's a lot.
There's
It's a new thing.
A
yeah.
lot.
I like it. That's a cool concept.
So this is good for someone like straight out of college, aging off their parents' program. This is great for a young married couple who hasn't started a family yet. All right, so let's start wrapping up. OneShareHealth producer benefits. Commissions paid weekly with incentive programs. We have a competition going on for Barbados, and that is in 2020, I think the spring. So that's cool. We always are doing some type of incentive program. And it's level commission for life of the program. So I'm making up numbers. Let's say you're at 50% commission and you enroll a member and they're enrolled 5 years, that sticks with you every year. You can enroll people in our programs 365 days a year, literally Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, doesn't matter. Next day effective day. We are available nationwide, excluding Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Vermont. They don't like health share programs. But otherwise, we are available nationwide, and you only need a resident license. So if you are licensed in Texas, which you are, you can sell nationwide.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I could enroll like an aunt in
Sure
Illinois.
could,
Oh, really?
as long as it's not those 3 states.
That's cool. That's
So expand your horizons,
Yeah.
right? Road trip.
Thinking that.
How bad you want to go to Barbados? No. Simple electronic enrollment, and we have marketing materials already ready for you guys to use. And the contracting process obviously is pretty darn easy. You click on the contracting link, you purchase your E&O, your professional liability. You sign a no loss warranty letter, you complete your registration, you upload your resident-only license. Our training to become contracted is less than 30 minutes. You watch 4 short videos, you take an assessment, which is only like 18 questions. You need 80% or higher to score. And then this is very important, you receive your welcome letter with 2 important links, your back office link and your enrollment link for members.
Yeah.
And then definitely write down these 2 numbers. This is our producer support and member support. Obviously, you know that Elliot, Tina, Victoria, and myself are here to help you. We are your go-to people, but we also travel, we're in and out of meetings. If you can't reach us, it's their job to answer the phone all day long. They're waiting for your calls. So you're in good hands, no worries there. So we talked about maternity, we talked about pre-ex. The only thing we didn't touch on that I want to show you just one slide real quick is cancer, which is pretty easy. Got it? Okay, real quick. Because sorry, in so many different presentations, I kind of pull from each. Here we go. So cancer. Health share programs in the industry in general are not good for someone currently going through cancer. I just wouldn't recommend it.
Sure.
But we are great for if, heaven forbid, you were diagnosed with a new cancer. So the couple things to remember, it's completely separate than pre-ex. So it's a different beast. Pre-existing or recurring cancers are not eligible for sharing. I'm a breast cancer survivor, but I'm on the Classic Crown. I am fully aware that heaven forbid the breast cancer comes back, it is not eligible for sharing, nor is the reconstructive surgery associated with
No
that,
matter the amount of time you've been cancer free?
no matter the amount of time.
Okay.
But newly diagnosed cancer, if the member has been cancer-free for 5 years prior to effective date, is absolutely eligible. The Classic, you only wait 3 months, and the complete and catastrophic, you don't wait at all. So at time of enrollment, we'll look back 5 years if you're cancer-free and the new cancer comes, and that includes skin, everything, any type of new cancer. There is a lifetime sharing maximum for cancer of 500,000. I know across the board it's 1 million, but only 500,000 can go towards cancer.
Okay.
And then chemotherapy and radiation are absolutely eligible, but obviously the ISA applies. So just remember, for pre-ex, 24-month look back, for
Yeah.
cancer, 5-year look back. For pre-ex, it's a 24-month waiting period. For cancer, barely anything. And then in general, $1 million lifetime max. For cancer, 500,000. Those are the 3 biggest differences.
Awesome. I saw on the Classic, going back to the maternity, because this is going to come up a lot. I saw on the Classic it said a little disclaimer, $75 copay if you're going to the OBGYN at the bottom of the page instead of $20.
You sure that was our health share?
I just saw it.
What?
I think.
You seen stuff?
No. It's on the Classic. You see that at the bottom?
No, you're looking. at
Number 2, specialist.
Oh, okay.
$75 until ISA is met, then 100% sharing.
Gotcha.
Don't scare me like that.
That scared me. I was like,
No.
I couldn't see the 2 there.
I think we covered
So,
everything.
For maternity care, does that only cover OBGYN? So for example, at Baylor Dallas, they have a certified nurse midwife group. They do all your prenatal care, delivery, everything. But it's,
It would depend if they're in network with PHCS, which
Yeah.
a lot of times Baylor's not, by the way.
Yeah, they're not.
Baylor just, despises health share programs. It's super crazy, but whatever.
There's a beast.
Yeah. So it just depends if they're in network. I mean, quite frankly, we don't care what kind of doctor they are as long as they're in network.
Yeah.
So that's why at time of enrollment, please scroll down on that first page and make sure you look up the providers.
Oh, going back to that, so whenever you select the type of coverage within the portal, then that generates the providers that are on the coverage you select.
Yes, okay, so glad you said that. One thing I want you guys to note, where is that little sucker? Right here. So in regards to PHCS, these are the specific networks. So on our catastrophic program, it's hospital only. On the classic basic, it's specific services. On the classic enhanced and crown limited benefit plan, which this is our most popular. And when they do the complete, they get the absolute full network. So now you can see why it's so important you look up their doctors, because depending what program they want, there are different search things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What are y'all telling me when your wife, y'all had something and, I think it was you. Your wife had to drive like an hour to get to the doctor?
Oh,
because
yeah,
there's
that
nobody-
wasn't a share plan, that was, we were talking about HMO networks.
But that's another good, there could be no
Yeah, 'cause
providers
like-
in their area.
So glad you asked. So let's say we do live in the boonies out here, right?
That's what I,
Not anymore.
be something similar to that.
Let's say you have an emergency, and this would only be an emergency situation. If it's not an emergency, you gotta drive if you want in-network. But if you are in the middle of an emergency and there are literally no ERs in network, you get your butt to the nearest one, and that is eligible for sharing.
What about like, so explain limited benefit plan? What does that mean?
So all this means, guys, is the size of providers available in that area depending on the program.
Because like I've had someone tell me personally, about the PHCS network, tell me personally, yes, we accept your we accept your plan, but you're a limited benefit plan. Therefore, we don't, like the doctors within, like it was at Children's Hospital, my daughter broke her arm. They were on the PHCS, they accepted PHCS, however, the doctor that I was seeing did not accept limited benefit plan, so I had to pay 100% out of pocket for a broken arm.
And that's why you have to search
That's why you have to
correctly.
do what she's saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because they're different
But just to-
networks.
just to clarify,
And OBGYN, when it did the same thing, they said, you have to accept it, but you don't have a full, like it's a limited benefit plan, so.
but it doesn't affect your sharing services. These do not affect like what you have access to, it affects who you have access to.
Okay.
So it doesn't affect your benefits, it affects your doctors. So, let me show you, it's easy. Let's say, oh dang it, let me, is there internet on here?
Yeah, you can go to,
I'll show you how easy it
the
is.
True Texas Benefits private one,
Okay?
and then it's asterisk.
Oh no, I did hashtag.
Yeah.
Asterisk. There we go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
True, under all lowercase, True Texas,
Oh, okay, that's cool.
115, and another asterisk.
No, I did it again. Did you give him a call? I will give him a call.
Yay!
And see what's going on, why I think he processing it. Yeah.
Who's today then?
There's not been any changes made or?
Yeah, I would follow up with them because it should be popping up that thing.
Okay, it's pulling up the enrollment website, so you can see what it looks like, because yours will look almost identical. Come on. That's weird. Oh, it's hourglassing.
Does anyone in here have their portal? Oh, only Daniel and Barry and Dion, right? The people that aren't here.
Yeah.
You and I. No, guys, this stuff is awesome. Like, you should be able to sell one of these policies a week because everyone's looking for alternative options. It's so affordable compared to what's out there. Like, it is super easy to sell.
Okay, so this is what your enrollment portal will look like. Obviously, it will have your own personal information. This is page 1 we talked about. It tells you all the state availability except for Maryland, Pennsylvania, Vermont. Here's the classic, here's the catastrophic, and then I'll scroll down as the complete. So you've got a brochure for each, which your brochure is what has the pricing. So when you want to provide quotes, you can do it in less than 30 seconds.
Yes.
All you need to know is the oldest member. It's got additional information and then you add it to cart. But before you add it to cart, you're gonna scroll down to the bottom. Under resources,
So what you-
first is the prescriptions. So if you click here,
Probably, we got two.
you can look up like all your insulin, things like that. They have mail order. You can look up a pharmacy nearest to your house, so you can look up all your prescriptions. And then here's your provider. So depending on what program, because by this point you would have already had a good conversation about the appropriate program. So you would click here and follow exactly these steps. Then you shouldn't run into what you ran into.
Cool, that's awesome.
Yep. It's super easy. Just
I like that.
click here, follow the steps of the program the member's wanting. Look up their doctors, give them that peace of mind, and then go back up, add the program to the cart. Then at that point, you have 2 pages left, which should take 5-8
Yeah,
minutes.
it's easy to enroll.
Other questions?
That's huge right there.
So we talked about pre-ex, maternity, cancer, we talked about selling points, we talked about the fact we're not insurance, you know, we're a health sharing program, we talked about the 3 programs, we talked about membership discount services.
Like Alan was telling you beforehand, we do a lot of business and group stuff. Is there any type of benefit for a business to put a group together for?
Sure is.
Yeah, that's a great question there.
So who is the ideal member? I want to help you guys, right? Because a lot, if they have a heartbeat. True sales, true sales. All right, but truly, our type of member is sometimes different than traditional insurance. So let me give you a little tidbit. Individuals, unemployed, obviously, can't afford health care, not eligible for healthcare subsidies, spouse not eligible for Medicare. What if, you know, the husband turns 65 and the wife still got 3 years left before she does?
Yeah.
That's great, yeah.
Spanish materials, because they do not have to have a social security number. List bill.
Yeah.
So because we're insurance, or because we're not insurance, we don't do group benefits. But we have list bill available. This is huge. Small businesses, Midlothian, churches, 3 to 49 employees. Has to be within that. No less than 3, no more than 49, and they can do list bill. Very similar, kind of like a group benefit, right?
Yeah.
Then associations and affinity groups like Lions Club, Rotary Club, Firefighter Men's Association, Realtors Association, unlimited member enrollment.
That's awesome.
Yep. Now, it's a voluntary post-tax benefit, so the employer can or cannot contribute. It truly is totally up to them. But it makes them feel good and it makes them look good because they can offer something to their employees. It's automatic withdrawal from their paycheck.
Can they pre-tax the benefit if they have a cafeteria plan?
No.
It cannot, okay.
No.
And you can do it on a group three in size?
349.
As long as
Is there
there's
a-
3 and they can prove it.
And it's just the regular group application and then RFP and things like
No,
that?
there is a separate process for list bill, and Tina's team is perfect to assist you through that.
Okay,
If you're already thinking, I think I might have some groups, reach out to us and we'll get
okay, cool.
you the correct stuff, because it is a little bit different
Yeah,
process, but
of
still
course.
super easy.
Yeah.
Okay, independent contractors, self-employed. My husband's a chiropractor. Chiropractors are perfect for this. Trust
yeah.
me, we don't have benefits.
Right.
Personal trainers, massage therapists, hairdressers, salon owners, those are all key things to think about. Daycare owners.
Yeah.
Part-time employees, and then dependents eligible for their own membership. Individuals not in school, ages 20 to 27, and those aging off their parents' program at 27, we give them an extra year, it's not 26.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. So even if a dependent goes up to their 27 years old, they can be on the plan?
Yep, and when they turn
Okay.
27, at the end of that month, they're off, and they would have to get their own. So
Wow.
speaking of, that's when the catastrophic program could be pretty sweet, because they're
Yeah.
young, they can't afford it, right, we're all broke, and so that could be a great option for them.
That was 21.
Yep.
Which one was 21?
So that just kind of gives you a really good idea. The last thing I'll leave you with, because I know you guys got to get back at it, I just have to reiterate the terminology. Please, 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 the one thing that can get us all in trouble is if we use insurance terminology. We can't stress this enough. You don't want to confuse the member because it's already a new idea and concept to them anyway, so just make sure we're all on the same page with terminology. But again, the definitions are exactly the same. But can you imagine, like, they may think it's calendar year. Oh my gosh, I have to use my deductible before December. No, right? Is it covered? Well, it's eligible for sharing. Well, what is that, all those types of things.
Yeah.